All right, everybody, this is Ross. In today's video, to say that I am excited is a bit of an understatement because I've been growing food now for a number of years, and the way that you grow food is kind of pretty standard, right? You either get some seeds, you get some plants that are already established, maybe you get some cuttings and you start rooting them, some form of propagation, maybe grafting, and you plant the plant there and it's visible and it grows, and you have roots and you have an upper plant material. These mushrooms are just very, very different. I mean, they're, not fruits or vegetables. They're extremely different in how you can approach growing food. And for me, it's really eye-opening because it's not just how they grow and the mycelium and how this all works and the breakdown process of decaying wood and decaying materials. It's a little bit more than that in how you can then use these mushrooms in conjunction with other ways of growing food. So as an example, I have a number of persimmon trees in here. One there, here's another one here that is a seedling, I believe. We have another one here that's an Asian persimmon, another one over there that we grafted, and underneath these persimmons, we just piled on the wood chips, fresh wood chips that we received from chipdrop.com. I had to pay $20 to get a giant load of wood chips. That's awesome. It's a pretty good bargain, I have to say. It took me a while. I originally wanted some logs, and I wanted some logs because most mushrooms grow really well on logs. And I originally wanted to grow some lion's mane. It has some really good medicinal properties. It's also very tasty. I actually take it, some mycelium of the lion's mane every day in pill form. And it's really a fantastic medicinal mushroom for your brain. Also, I really like shiitakes in that shiitakes also really grow well on logs, and they're probably my favorite edible mushroom in the kitchen. So I thought logs would be a great way to do it, but I just couldn't find any logs. I was really struggling through Chip Drop, through even just local people, to see if I could get some fresh hardwood logs, and it just was proving quite difficult. So I ended up paying for the service at Chip Drop, got the sycamore wood chips here delivered. They actually sat in my driveway for a month before I moved them here to this location, then inoculated them in September or so. We did a video talking about the inoculation and how we did this, the step-by-step, the layering it out of cardboard and straw, and we had some sawdust spawn of this mycelium of these wine caps. We put them here in a pretty sunny location, and fast forwards for September to now mid-May, and we've got mushrooms, and they're coming out of our ears. They're everywhere, guys. This is like ridiculous. It was also told to me, I found out from Paul Stamets, that he actually recommends that if you grow these wood chips, but also during that breakdown process with these wine caps, because wine caps, they grow so well in these wood chips that wherever you plant them, it really enriches the soil. When it's all said and done and the patch is depleted and the wood chips are decayed and they turn into nice fluffy compost and humus, that's sort of what you get at the end of this, is that the wine caps seem to somehow really facilitate and enhance the soil further than just putting down wood chips. So by inoculating them, you're getting some sort of added benefit, and that's pretty cool. So there's a dual purpose here of not just growing food, but you know what? Trees, they need some material, some mulch on the ground to eventually break down and give these things some food every once in a while. You don't want to go crazy with the food, but compost is pretty good. And to then have the compost come in here and these wood chips come in here, but also then get an added bonus of mushrooms underneath is really quite something. So that's really why I've been super overjoyed. You could say that the harvest itself, because we've got about 15, 20-ish, I don't know, about 15 mushrooms I'm going to harvest today. We're going to fill multiple buckets of this stuff. I mean, that's a huge joy right there, but all the other things that I mentioned about, how this is really opening my eyes is really quite interesting, and I really do hope that a lot of you guys will start growing mushrooms, start thinking about it, because these wine caps are so aggressive. You get them in the right spot, in the right species of mushroom, and you're basically set. It's just so simple. We're gonna do a little bit of a harvest now. I'm gonna show you guys, because there's just, like I said, there's so many of these. It's crazy. Now I could talk about the identification, because I have done a lot of research now to make sure that these are actually accurate, and you can see the gills underneath, which is like a grayish purple, almost black. On top you got that brown color. Starts out a little bit winey, you know, looking like red wine, starts to turn brown. Now I'm gonna show you guys the stem here on some of these, because you're gonna see like a little bit of a, let me get one here and see if I can show it to you. It's kind of like a little bit of a lip, and this one doesn't necessarily have it, but because we start out with these mushrooms as like a button mushroom, they eventually expand and then they flatten out, and what's left underneath is this little lip of where this was attached, and you end up having some key identification right there with that little lip. Now maybe I'll get one for you guys with the lip at some point, but I thought that was pretty cool. Also the spore print, here's the lip right here actually. You can see where this unveils itself and attaches to this particular part here. I forget what this is. It's like a toothed ring around it is what some people describe it as, where this then unveils itself and unattaches from the stem and flattens out. And that's kind of what you're looking for on some of these. And if you guys get a chance to do a spore print, which you should do, essentially all I did was get myself that mushroom that I showed you earlier, turn it upside down on a piece of paper towel, and then cover it with a bowl. And then 12 to 24 hours later, we get the spore print. Looks like a Rorschach, doesn't it? And it should be purple, almost black, sometimes brown. And isn't that beautiful? And isn't that pretty cool of how it's one way of identifying these mushrooms? If you want to know more about the identification, I strongly suggest you don't really take my advice on this. And actually, a bird had pooped on this one. That's not good. Ugh. All right, so this one we're not going to eat, I guess, or I'll cut out this piece. But anyway, I strongly suggest when you guys are identifying these, be patient, take your time. I'm still going to post all these photos here that I collect, my entire harvest, everything so far. I'm going to post all this on a community of people who really know what they're talking about with these mushrooms. But I highly recommend you guys check out Adam Harrington's videos. It's Learn Your Land. He has a YouTube channel, he has a website, and I've basically been using his website and his videos to help identify these mushrooms here. Now I know there's some experts that are watching the videos right now, so if you have any suggestions as to whether or not this is or isn't, I know some of you guys have been doing that so far, and I appreciate that, I really do. If you think this is or isn't a wine cap mushroom, please let me know in the comments. Like I said, I am going to get all this stuff together, and I'm going to kind of assess what enough people are telling me, and if I get enough yeses, I think I'm going to be confident enough to eat these, and then I'll call it a day and just finally go for it. I think one of the hardest parts about growing these mushrooms is actually eating them because for the first time you're just a bit skeptical, and you don't want to eat something that's poisonous, right? I know a lot of you guys have been warning me and telling me, please be safe, etc., etc. I appreciate that, guys, but at some point we got to eat this, and if we know 100%, there's no reason not to eat it. Plus, we planted this. We know where this came from. this is one step away from that fear of growing mushrooms, because there is an innate fear that we have as human beings. We've been taught for years as kids to be so careful with these mushrooms, and we just need to get over that. Once I do, I think this will be a lot better. Now, what I want to know from some of you guys out there who are the experts on these mushrooms, when do you think I should harvest the wine caps? At what stage is best? You know, do I have to wait until it opens up? Or at least, should I wait? When is the best eating quality for these things? Should I wait, or should I go ahead when they're still a bit, you know, attached to the stem? What is the best time to be doing this in terms of the eating quality here? Like anything, right? When you harvest it for the first time, you need to figure that out to get the most optimal tasting food. So I think that's a really good question that we can have out for the experts in the comments, and you guys can certainly help me out with that one. Definitely don't have all the answers just yet, but I am telling you for sure, this is without a doubt something that everybody watching these videos should be doing, is growing these mushrooms. I mean, this is insane. Look how much mushrooms I have. This is one day. This literally happened overnight. I harvested my first mushroom 2 days ago and another one right before that. And now we have so many that I don't really know what to do with them. I don't know how I'm going to eat all these. I really don't. And they just keep showing up. You know, everywhere I look, they just keep popping up. So here's really the proof. This is all the proof here, guys, that these are really quite something. And I guess I could harvest even more if I wanted to, in the sense that some of them have flattened out, but they're not as big. You know, they're not as big, but if they're flattened out already, are they towards the end of their life cycle and they're not really going to get any better at this point in terms of eating them in the kitchen? You know, I really don't know. You know, is it safe? Is it a good idea, I should say, to harvest them like this? You know, I don't even know. There might be a better example here that I have where it's still attached to the stem. I'm not really seeing one right now. Maybe something like this, you know, where this is still down here like that. Should I wait till they get bigger? Should I wait? You know, how does this affect the flavor when it opens up, when it's still smaller like this, etc., etc.? So yeah, I want to thank you guys out here for sticking with me and watching this one. What an incredible journey this has been. And if you guys enjoyed this video so far, let me know, and let me know if you want to see more about mushrooms in the future, because you're definitely going to be seeing more about this patch, and I'm happy to be able to present it to you guys and try to inspire some of you guys to be doing this kind of thing. It really was a joke at how easy this was. And I'll tell you, the hardest thing really is eating them after you've got your first ones. You know, I would love to cook some of these up in some butter and saute them, but you know, I want to be 100% sure so far. So yeah, we'll know in a couple days. I'm going to post these on a community of some kind and see what people say, and we'll talk to everybody soon. All right, so stay safe out there. Please subscribe, check out our blog, figboss.com, and check us out on Facebook and Instagram. See everybody soon. Take care.